Hello everyone, how you all doing today? I want to talk a little bit about this whole meme thing, this whole meme cryptocurrency. You know how you had all those meme stocks earlier on, like the GameStop and the AMC, and people making a ton of money and all this sort of stuff. Then you have this meme cryptocurrency known as Doge, which is that Chinese or Japanese dog, whatever the dog is, and it's kind of like a corgi looking type of dog, and people are like making themselves rich doing it, but then they say they're never going to sell, and then Elon Musk is saying that it's the future of crypto. And let's just talk about that for a moment. Because while I may not be a crypto, I don't know like everything that there is about crypto. I've not been in crypto for too long, like the past year, maybe a little bit longer, probably a little bit longer actually. And, it's still relatively new to me, and I'm moving a lot of my money over to it and everything. But, my gosh, okay. I think this whole thing with the Dogecoin and everything, I think it's just a big distraction. Why? Because here is what these institutions want to do. Like, they want to try to regulate Bitcoin. They want to try to regulate the cryptocurrencies any way that they can. They want to find out who's sending it, who's using it, who's not paying their taxes on it, ultimately, is what it's going to come down to. That's like some of the biggest things there. And what's so fascinating about that is that you have Elon Musk saying these negative things about Bitcoin, about all this renewable energy, like they need to be more energy efficient, but they're really not efficient with their energy, like with the mining, the Bitcoin mining, and then that sent all of the cryptocurrencies just plummeting down. All these investigations from China saying that they're going to be banning Bitcoin mining because of the energy and all this sort of stuff. Nothing new there. This is all just a way to crash down the market to make people who are skeptical about it, sell out. Like maybe you bought in when the Bitcoin was like 60,000 or so, okay? And you're like, oh my gosh, yes, it just keeps going up and up and up. Although that was practically the peak, okay? Let's just say maybe you bought in at 50,000, and it went up to 60,000. You're like, oh yes, it just keeps going up and up, and then it crashes down to 30,000. And you're like, oh, I have to sell. I can't lose any more money. You sell it out, then it goes back up to 40,000. Now it's kind of like hovering between 30 and 40. So then you're like, oh, I'm never going to get into this again. Never going to get into it again. Then you have these big institutions, putting out these headlines and everything about, how bad it is for the environment, blah, 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 blah. And then that price is coming down, and they're snatching it up for a good deal. Like, why would they purchase it at 60,000 when they could crash the market and purchase it at 30,000? Think about that for a moment. So I think it ultimately comes down to manipulation here to try to bring down the prices so they can get into it. But when it comes to Dogecoin specifically, again, I think that's just a big distraction. While it is true, Dogecoin has went up from like a half a penny or to like 1/10 of a penny. It was like 0.005, 0.001. Like a year ago. Okay, even just a few months ago, it was like half a penny or even less. And now it's like, I think the peak was like 60 some pennies. Now that may not seem like a lot, but think about it for a moment. If you put in like $100 when it was 0.001 pennies, and it literally went up to 60 cents, I can't do the math in my head, but that is a massive gain. You just made a massive amount of money if you sold it. But the problem with Dogecoin, with Bitcoin and many other types of cryptocurrencies, there is a limited supply. Okay? Let's say you have 10 collectibles in the entire world. Because there's only 10, that makes them extremely valuable. And people may really want them. They want to snatch them up. They want to buy them. You own it. You want to sell it. You're going to sell it for like a high price. Let's just say they just keep printing them again and again and again and again, and then there's no shortage of supply. Well, then it's not that rare. There's no reason to collect it. There's no reason to own it. That's what Dogecoin is essentially. Dogecoin is there's an infinite supply. They can just keep printing it up, more and more and more. Now, what does that sound like? Does anyone know what that sounds like, what Dogecoin sounds like? And again, this is why it's a big distraction. Dogecoin is essentially the fiat currency, the US dollar, for example. Okay? The US dollar, all they're doing is printing it and printing it and printing it, causing hyperinflation. It has no real value. Fiat currency has no real value. It is the cryptocurrencies that have a limited supply, that have, significant value. And when it comes to Bitcoin, I hear so many different things. I hear some people saying it's going to be going up to, by the end of the year, it's going to be like 200,000. And then, in the next few years, or probably like 2 years, it's going to be like 500,000. Okay? And then you have other people saying, oh no, this is the end. It's just going to keep plummeting down from here for whatever reason, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, my personal belief is that I think it's going to keep going up for a while. I really do. I think it's going to keep skyrocketing for quite a while, because there's so many people starting to get into it now. It's becoming much more easily accessible, much more available to people. I think that's a great thing. So I don't think it's going to go down, but when you constantly are looking at the price, and the prices keeps going down, 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 you may think, oh, maybe I shouldn't purchase here. When you're thinking for long term, you like it to go down, because then you can buy some more at lower prices. So 5 years down the line, maybe it's like $1 million or something. Then you've profited, immensely. Now, if you're doing like a short term, holding of it, maybe that's not the best time to buy it right now. We don't know how far it's going to go down, or maybe this is the end, of it going down. I don't know, but regardless, I know for me, I've purchased various. I own like maybe like six different crypto assets or something. And I'm doing it for more of a longer term thing. I'm not doing it for something that is short term. I'm doing it, okay, what's it going to be like a year from now? Even though there was this massive crash and I literally lost like half of my, money, I didn't technically lose it because I didn't sell anything. I didn't sell anything during it. In fact, I'm putting more money into it. I see it go down massively. I'm like, oh, I'm going to put some more money into it because it's the perfect time to buy. Because if you think about it for a moment, if you put $100 into Bitcoin right now, let's just say I think it's like 35,000, okay, approximately. If you knew that in the next month it was going to be 70,000, that it was going to double, then that $100 just became $200, or however your risk tolerance is. If you don't want to put much in, maybe you just put $10 in. Okay, $10 has now become $20. $1,000 has become $2,000, so on and so on, okay? Ultimately, you should not be putting money in that you can't afford to lose. So if you are putting money in, of course, now some people are going to be more risky with it, because it all depends on what they believe as well. Obviously, I don't think you're going to end up losing it all, even if the Bitcoin goes all the way down to like $1,000 or even like $1. I highly doubt that's going to happen, but once it goes down that far, people are going to be snatching it up if that ever happens. So, yeah. So my personal belief is that this whole Doge thing, it's all just a big distraction, because they don't want you to get into Bitcoin and these other assets that actually have meaningful value, that are going to keep going up. Dogecoin, who knows how much higher that thing will go. I'll be surprised if it ever goes to $1, but there's an infinite supply of it. They just keep printing it up, just like fiat money. So it really has no real value. There's no significance behind it. It's created as a meme. It's not for anything. It doesn't really do anything. Whereas other cryptocurrencies, they have different value. Like we've talked about Cardano here before. That one is to replace like Ethereum. There's different applications that are going to be built off of it. It's supposed to have lower transaction fees and sending fees. There's going to be other types of things built on top of it to have this ecosystem of finance. It's not just put money in, make it go higher, and then sell it. I mean, of course, people will do that, but there's so much more behind it. There's so much more to do with it in the future as things progress more and more. And there's a bunch of other ones as well. I'm in quite a handful of different things here. So yeah, it really depends on where you want to put your money and how you want to see it grow and everything. It is quite amazing how quickly things can move. I just, on a massive dip the other day, I just put a little bit of money into one of these currencies, and then it like doubled within like 2 days. And it's like, oh, there you go. And of course, I'm not selling it. If I sold it out, see, if I decided to sell all my crypto assets when it was like really, really high, and then bought back in when it was low, yeah, that would be ideal. But I'm not going to do all that, because it's like, I really don't want to be messing with that. I don't really want to be touching it, because what if I sell it at what looks like it's going down, and then as soon as I sell it, it goes back up high, all-time high, because it can move so quickly. It really can. So yeah, that's why I just mostly just try to do this for like a longer term thing. So yeah, Dogecoin, a distraction. All this fears of China banning it, all this Elon Musk garbage about the energy, it's all mumbo jumbo. It's all just a way to manipulate you to sell it, so you're not actually buying. They don't want you to buy. They don't want you to have it. They want to tax you on this and that. That's why privacy coins are also very important. Monero being one that I've heard about, and Pirate Chain. I've talked about Pirate Chain. I have a decent amount of that. So imagine if that goes up to like $1,000. There you go, millionaire status. Millionaire status. So I'm just saying, I don't know where these things are going to go. I'm not going to predict anything, but I definitely see a very positive future when it comes to that. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be here in the next year or 2 years talking to you. Say, look, I told you, get into these things early when they're low, because now you would have been a millionaire. Because I'm going to be a millionaire. Maybe I already am. I don't know. I'm not going to disclose that, but not after this crash, I'm not. I'll just say that. Anyway, you all take care. Have a great one, and I'll catch you all later. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'm really curious to know, and let me know what cryptocurrencies you're interested in and that you're invested in. And yeah, catch you later. Bye-bye.